it's 10 o'clock, so Jeanette's going to record what you see on screen so that we can put it up on YouTube, and then you or anyone who wasn't on the meeting will be able to take a look at it and see the screens and the steps that you take.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and get started. I'll allow you to see my screen. Can everyone see my screen now? It looks like Salesforce.
Yes.
Okay, great. So I'm going to jump over to from the very beginning on what a user is going to see. So they would go into the advancedcolorado.com, and this is my shortcut to get to the enterprise zone. So we would tell them I usually tell them go to advancedcolorado.com/easy, jump them to this page. And then I say click on the apply for enterprise pre-cert and certification. And then they'll see two buttons. And here's the amend a certification button. And here is okay, so here's the screen they're going to get to with all the fields. And just the fields that have this red asterisk, those are required. But it is nice if they could give us a location or business name. So I'm just going to do a test one so you could see what the user is going to see. So here's my lemonade stand. And then Maria King probably just loves us. And then I'm just going to put in a number like this. And then let's say the user they realized that they entered the wrong numbers in their tax credits. So basically they could just say, I just need to update fields related to the tax credits that they chose. So they're going to say that. And this question down here where it says I want to select different credits for certification, I have data to report for these. Let's say they only chose the job training and they also needed to check the new employee tax credit. That's what these check boxes are for, because they forgot to choose more tax credits. And then they could put whatever explanation. So here's all the information that they're going to put in. And then once they're done, they're going to hit submit. And then we just say, thank you, your submission has been received. And they could go back to the form if they have like another amendment that they need to do. So on our end, we're going to get emails. And I'm also CC'd on these emails. So here it is. So I could see that here's the business name, the contact, the enterprise zone. There's the number. A number 1 in bits and bytes, a 1 equals true, a 0 equals false. So I know that they said yes, they need to update fields just related to their tax credits. And then I could see here that they needed to add more tax credits for the research and development and the new employee tax credit. And then I see the reason, so I know that I probably need to go in and select more tax credits for them, which would be the research and the new employee. So then I can click on this hyperlink, which will just take me to the case in our Salesforce instance, and it'd be the same for you with your cases. You would see your layout might be a little bit different than mine, but I could see all the information that they put in here. So if we follow the user guide that we created, what we would do is first make sure that this EZ certification number really exists in the system. And you guys would probably see that in your left-hand navigation. And what we say is you would click on the edit, you would copy this number, place it over here. But I'm going to show you one that we already created. Since the link was broken for a couple days, we have some cases already in the queue. So for you guys, you'll have your cases tab selected, and then in your view, you're going to select the EZ cert request amendment that are open. And so here's the case number, here's the EZ certification that they entered, and then on this side, this shows me that that is a real certification number. I know sometimes people might mistype things, so that's just a check for us. So I'm going to do this one in the Northwest. I'm going to click on the case number. And they said they need to update fields related to tax credits, and we'll see if they needed to add this tax credit or if they're just letting us know this is the tax credit that they need to update. So I already linked it to this certification in the system, and it'd be the same for you guys. Once you copy and paste that over here, then it links it to the correct cert. So I'm going to go ahead and click on this.
Hello.
Hello.
Deanne just joined.
Hi. We're in the middle of looking at the amendment process for certifications. Can you see the screen?
Oh, no. Hold on. Sorry, I'll get there.
Okay.
And Sonia, Kathy, this is Kathy. I joined a little bit late too, but I can see the screen and I've got the audio.
Okay. And we are recording this, so you'll be able to view anything that you missed later.
Okay, so we would all see this screen. You guys just see it in a different page layout with different colors. But I would just scroll down, and I see that we have the investment tax credit, and it looks like they may have just entered the wrong numbers in here. And I see that if I'm the admin, I already approved this. And so now there's two steps that I have to do. I have to change this funding application here back to draft, and then I have to change the status back to pending. So I could go ahead and change the status back to pending here on this screen since I'm already here. So I hit the edit button. I'm going to change the status back to pending, hit save. And then I'm going to click on the funding application because that has to go back to draft too, because if we leave it in the submit state, they can't edit the cert. So then I come back here, I click edit again, and in the status, I'm going to say draft. And we're actually recording all of these changes in the system too, so we know who updated it. So it's saying that I updated it. And then the last thing we're going to do, we're going to notify the user that we have reopened the certification for them. So I'm going to click on the EZ cert, and I'm going to go ahead and copy the name of the contact. I just hit Control-C for copy. And I'm going to go down the page, and you guys have this same function that we do. And I'm going to say, send an email. And then I'm going to click on the select template. And you guys should only see the folder that says BFNI Easy Administrator Portal Templates. And then you're going to click on this template that says BFNI Easy Certification Amendment Notice. So once you click on that, it populates what cert it's related to. And also the subject line tells them what certification has been set back to draft status. And then they get this nice HTML email, which tells them, Dear Daniel, certification was set back to draft. And then we give them the instructions on how to go back into the system and update their record. But we also have to connect it to the contact person, and that's why I copied the name of the contact for this record, and I'm going to hit paste. And I'm going to leave myself as the BCC. You guys will be BCC'd on these. So now, and I'll click this just to link it. So now it's linked to Daniel's record, and then that'll let us know that we sent this record to him. And so everything looks good. So now I'm going to hit send. And so now he could go back and update his amendment. And if we scroll down here, we could see that here's the email telling him it was set back to the draft status. And we could say it went to him, and I, Jeanette, did this reassignment. And now I could go back and close this case. So if you keep on scrolling down the page and you click the case number, I'm just going to click close case. And I think for you guys it's the same. I'm just going to click close and hit save. So now that one is done.
So, Jeanette, this is Kathy.
Okay.
And again, I apologize. I was a few minutes late getting here. Dumb question probably, but you're doing all of this now, and what you're saying is you want zone administrators to start doing this in the future?
Yes. Start doing it now.
Okay.
Right. So you
Now, yeah.
since we put it live like in late May, you should receive emails when there's one associated with your enterprise zone, and then on your view for administering Salesforce, you have a case tab, and you will see any cases that apply to your businesses.
Yeah. And I could log in as I always log in as Maria, so you guys could see what it looks like on your end.
So Jeanette, this is Michelle. So if you closed the case and you didn't do all these steps exactly right, just in theory, or maybe in reality, can we go back and reopen them?
Yes. Yeah, if you just closed the case and didn't do anything, then nothing happened with the cert. These cases are just notifications letting you know what needs to happen with that certification.
So this is different than when we first got cases and it was basically just approving your amendments.
No, it's the same.
Okay.
Basically,
Yeah, I think I might have missed what we were doing.
the case is what allows any user to let us know they want to change something. And then we reopen their certification so they can make changes. So I think as we discussed, ideally we're letting the user make changes so that if they're unhappy with something later, they're the ones that did it, they entered the numbers, and we're not responsible for that. You know, once in a while you will get somebody who just can't work with a computer very well, and so sometimes you do help them and make those changes yourself. But in most cases, you'll want to put it back on the user so that they're doing it, and you know they've checked all the detail and they're the ones responsible.
This is Deanne. Why can't they, when they hit that amend button, Why does it have to go through this whole process? I'm sorry to be so dense, but this is a layer that I don't understand.
Well, the amendment process for the user, with them just going to the Advanced Colorado, this is just creating a case in our system to let us know that there needs to be an amendment done because there was a mistake when they first entered their information. And so this is not an automatic process, unfortunately. Right now we have to do it and have you guys update the records for them.
Is there any possibility for it to be automatic?
I would have to talk with my developer.
Because I think what you're saying, Deanne, is that if they click amendment, it would automatically turn a certification back to draft status and turn an application back to pending. Or
correct, yeah.
Exactly.
We can look into it.
Yeah, we could look into it.
It's probably not something that's going to happen in the next 6 months.
I guess it just seems like a layer that to me is not necessary.
Yeah, I agree.
So this is Kathy, and I have another question. When we click on our cases tab, all of the cases come up for the entire state, right?
Correct.
Just like it's showing here?
Yes.
Okay, and we just simply pick the ones that happen to be
in your
zone and do the process.
Correct.
And then when it's closed, they'll no longer show up under cases.
Right. Yeah, these are.
Okay.
Well, I have it set up so only the open cases show. If you chose the easy certs amended closed, you would see all the closed cases.
Okay.
So do you want to go through any other one? Do people want a little, one more time through?
Yeah, I could do another one if you guys would like.
Oh, do mine. It's Deanne, please.
Okay, which one?
El Paso.
El Paso, okay.
I have the one.
All right.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Maybe I'll log in as you.
Oh, perfect.
See it through their view. So.
Yeah.
All right, so I'm gonna log in as you, Deanne. Okay, El Paso. So I'm gonna click on the case number, and I already went through and linked the easy certification over here, so I knew it was a legit certification number. And so they checked update fields related to the tax credits, and they did the employer sponsored health insurance credit. The employer sponsored account for employee needs to be updated. So it looks like they just put the wrong data in there. So
Correct.
I'm going to click on this easy certification number. I go to their cert, and I see that it's already been submitted and approved, so I need to do the 2 steps of changing the status back to pending. Okay. And then I need to change the fund status back to draft. And I'm going to click on the APP number so I could go back and update the application. And I'm going to change this from submitted to draft. Hit save. So now I have to notify this user, but I'm going to do it from their easy certification record, because then it'll save to that record. So I'm going to click on their certification number, and I'm going to highlight and copy Kelly's name here. So I'm going to hit Control C to copy.
Yeah. And so I was just looking because we're verifying that the 2 credits they want, and they particularly mentioned the health insurance credit was selected.
So I'm going to go all the way to the bottom and click on send an email. And I'm going to go ahead and paste Kelly's name in here and do the little lookup icon and select her name to lock that in. Then I'm going to click on select template. Click on the template here for the amendment notice. Magically everything populates. And they'll get this nice looking letterhead. And like I said, it'll let them know what cert was updated and how to update their record. So all of this information looks good, and like I said, you guys are going to be BCC'd on these. If you don't want to, you can highlight this and delete your name, but I'm just going to keep that on there. So we're all ready to go. I'm going to hit send. She got the email. So now I'm going to go back and close this case. So if I scroll all the way to the bottom, down to the cases, I'm just going to click on the case number and click close case and change the status to closed, hit submit. And now if I click back on the cases tab and then just look at the list view again, now I could see that one's gone.
So then the other thing that Michael asked about was, what if you're talking with a person who's already submitted their certification and now they want to change it? Let's just go over how you want to do that. It could just be within the enterprise zone certification.
Yeah. So I guess if we went to one that was approved, we'll just take a look. We won't make any edits. Or
if you want to log in with me, it's C-003662 we're talking about, and they just failed to click on the enhanced rural enterprise quality, and it's going to cost them $42,000 in credits.
Wow.
Where is he? Here he is. Okay, I'm going to log in as you, Michael.
Wait.
It was one that you already approved?
It's that top one, that 3662.
Oh, okay.
Okay, can I stop you right there and ask a question? So why isn't this a case then? Because they haven't formally requested to amend it?
It's just an error I discovered in their application.
Oh.
And I'm not getting a
we as zone administrators can go in and change things without...
Actually, that was my request, Deanne, because I've got a CPA that's being non-responsive.
So it's nice if they make the request, but sometimes you're working with somebody who hasn't gone, maybe you just get a phone call and somebody wants to do something. There might be a case where you just want to reopen it for them. I would still have them go in and make the changes. But, Michael can also make the call that he's dealt with somebody, he knows what needs to happen, and he's willing to, take the flack if they don't like it later.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
So if they call us and say, this is Michelle, sorry, we want to amend our case, we don't have to send them back to the website and say this is the process. We can say, I'll just go reopen your case?
I'll reopen the certification, yes, you could.
Yeah, this would keep this CPA from calling Jeanette and asking her to reopen the case and going through all this process. But mine was more of an innocent question about, is it appropriate when I'm the zone administrator and know that it's an enhanced rural county and they've missed that opportunity, is there such a way for me to just click on that and make the amendments and notify both of them and move it on through?
I think that it's better if you notify them and have them do it. But what you can do, and we'll show you, like if you want to reopen a case, I would still make a note that you're reopening it and why you've done it.
Yes.
And that you notify the user Because if they
Right.
go in and ultimately submit it, it's taken care of.
Right.
And just a little more background, so you won't. You'll have a little more insight on what the conditions are. We've been working with this client for the last year or so and got them all pre-certified, and they're doing great work, and they qualify for all the credits. But the CPA they selected was from a franchise organization that didn't know about enterprise zones, and so we've been walking the CPA through the process to better understand. And it's only taken about 2.5, 3 months to get her to make the application. And obviously she's missed the deadline for this year's tax season, so she'll actually have to get the credits and then make the amended return also. So there's any number of things where the client who deserves the credits is not getting served. But I've got a series of phone calls over the last 2 weeks to the CPA just to get her to open this back up and correct it, and she's not doing it. And I need to work for the client.
Well,
So you've just left it in pending status and not approved it while you're trying to get through this whole issue, right?
Yeah, believing that she can go back in the pending status and just make the amendment, and then I can quickly approve it. But I can't get her to even log on.
Hmm.
well, Michael, in this one, you would still need to change this funding application status back to draft because she can't edit anything while it's submitted.
Okay, I'll do that right now.
Okay.
So why don't we go ahead and do that for Michael, and
Okay.
we'll make notes as to document what we're doing.
So I'm going to click on the funding application number here, get to that page, click edit, set it back to draft.
And then is it approved yet?
It's not.
Okay.
I'm going to go back to the
Okay.
the certification. And then this is where I would, Michael, go down to the bottom here and say send an email. And
Right?
oh, hold on, I didn't copy the person's name. This Tara.
Yes. And I've actually been CCing the company owner also, so they were aware that we're on top of this.
So what you could do with the nice thing about when you select the email template here, you could still go in here and, let her know. I don't know if you want me to do this or if you want to do this, but you can add text in here. So you can say, please select the,
Enhanced.
Enhanced rural enterprise status, yeah. That would be perfect. This is a great benefit to me this morning.
Just you can do cap easy. Well, I think
Oh.
enhanced rural easy.
Perfect.
What screen is it?
That's for on the new. If we say it's hard to know exactly where it is in the form, but we could just say please select enhanced rural enterprise zone to take advantage of the additional credits.
Yeah, or on the certification form, yes.
Whoa.
I didn't like that.
There you go.
Oops.
See if they missed that.
ADV.
Uh-huh. Maybe it's 1D.
Oh, I put too many T's in there. Okay, so you could put additional text in there to give the person more direction. So if you're
Perfect, what you got there.
if you're fine with that, I'm going to go ahead and send it.
Thank you.
All right.
And so in this case, all we've done is reopen it. We've let them know it's reopened, and we're putting it on them to go back in and make the selections.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and so back to the Eagle Scout side of things. It's been 12 days we've been working on this and trying to get her to make that amendment. At some point, I'm probably going to come back to you and ask what it is that I can do for the actual applicant that deserves the credits if the CPA doesn't follow through.
Can you just transfer it to the taxpayer and then let her do it?
Yeah, I mean, we could certainly do that, set up a different account with the, yeah, it's almost like in this case the client needs to fire the accountant and get somebody else.
So let me be bolder then. If I, as the zone administrator, go through the process to direct these folks on what the law is and how they qualify, and they fail to perform, why wouldn't we have a place for the zone administrator, who in theory has the responsibility to oversee the program, be able to correct errors on the form?
Well, I'm thinking of how to respond, but
and it's not meant to be a trick question. It's just, for me, the farm boy logic is that it's something we've got this a great deal of responsibility to oversee and certify, and I've got 5 enhanced counties, and if a CPA from outside the area doesn't realize that or misses it, we can go through this process and notify them. But if I've got a CPA that's just not responding and just unable to get back to this piece, I'm trying to figure out why I'm punishing the end recipient.
But Michael, it seems that the responsibility lends itself to the business owner, which you're in communication with. And then the challenge you have is that if you go in and edit that form and the CPA has the approval letter and the original tax document, if they file that wrong, then you've got mismatched tax documents that are being sent to the state of Colorado.
It's a great thought, but there's no approval letter.
Well, it didn't get approved, so it hasn't. You didn't approve it and then find the mistake?
No, I saw the mistake when it came through in the pending.
Okay.
right. So
then when it was pending and you saw the mistake in the little note box, so it had been submitted, you found the mistake, so you denied it and indicated, here's what you need to do, and then the person isn't responding back.
Well, I think we're on the right process. It's now been edited where it's sent back to draft. I didn't realize, for some reason I thought that they could still go in the pending and make amendments. And before, we'd always had them call Jeanette and make those arrangements. So that was probably my mistake. But my question is more of a basic one. If you see an error as a simple one, I don't know what the liability would be. I mean, I can deny it and start the process over, but to me it just made more sense that I might be able to highlight that just simple box that says this is an enhanced county and have that form repopulate itself. And maybe even with that change, the notification would go to the original applicant and recipient that I had made that correction.
Well, on the bottom of the certification form, even the one that came out of Department of Revenue, the signatures indicate that a person that acts on behalf of the business is responsible for what's in the form. And the enterprise zone administrator, yes. I mean, I guess in the interest of not taking on more responsibility and liability, we certify that the business is in the zone. And certainly I think it's a good thing to look at what the credits are. Are they being taken appropriately, and to notify them of what the law is and how they should be utilized. But we don't want to, unless we want to expand our role, I think it's better to let them do it.
Okay. And if I end up with a CPA that just remains unresponsive, I'll go to the business owner and start through that process.
Sure. Mm-hmm. And like you pointed out, and we didn't in this case on that email, but Michael, you'll get a copy and you could forward it to that business owner, but you can always CC the business owner. Mm-hmm. And as Jeanette showed you can add text, so you could say some lines directly to the business owner as well.
Yeah, and I actually did call her again this morning and let her know, and I did get that notification immediately.
Great.
Thank you.
All right. So any other questions on the amendment process for certifications? And it's really just a reopening of a certification and allowing the user to get back in and make those changes themselves. And then, as we pointed out, just some processes of how they notify us to do that they want to do that is through the case. And we will look at long-term trying to automate that so that, if they want to amend it, it just reopens the application and reopens the certification. So we'll look into that. But again, it's probably a little down the line, just given all the other projects that we have going on with Salesforce.
So Sonia, this is Kathy again, and I'm sure you've talked about this and I just missed it, but if a client or a business has made a mistake and wants to amend and reopen one, they can log back in and see language of how to do that and not call me directly, right?
So we sent, when we set up this process, we sent an email to every user, and you might have, I got some questions back, and maybe you did too, of what does this mean? And we were just telling them that there is a new process if you need to reopen a certification and make changes. So we sent an email out to everyone. The way they get into that process is through our website. And so at the beginning of this session, Jeanette showed us the OEDIT website and how you access the form. And it is from the Enterprise Zone application webpage. Apply for easy tax credits. Yeah.
And then apply for the easy pre-certification and certification. And then we always tell people you'll see 2 buttons, and just to click on the amend a certification. And they'll get to this form to fill out. So
they really need to go to the OEDIT website. They can't just log back into their account that they've created in Salesforce and find this form.
No, that's correct.
All right. So if we're good with that, we could stop the recording, but we can continue with other questions and issues.